afternoon and welcome to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for joining me today. It feels so different today. And I'll tell you why. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of updates that I need to give you. But I want to start by talking about this weekend. Award Weekend's annual event. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I actually got back last night, Sunday night. And as I was driving back home, a strange word since yesterday, but as I was driving back home, I couldn't help but to feel like I'm a whole new person. I can take the entire show today to talk about this weekend, but I won't. But let's just say spiritually, emotionally, even physically, it was like so rejuvenating to meet so many. I don't want to put number because it's going to be not accurate, but hundreds of people in the same room, like a family. So many know each other because they come back every year. So many know each other because when they came the first time, they exchanged numbers and just became friends. It was definitely like looking at this huge family. And of course, the opportunity to listen to all the speakers, learn a lot from Andy Woods, Patrick Wood, Karen Kingston, Dr. Lee Merritt, and many others. But also the chance to talk to everyone who was there. And the reason I said today is so different is how many people would come to me and tell me they watch my show every day, or whenever I'm on with Brandon, they always watch it. I was like, I never knew this many people are actually watching my show. You know, the comment section is normally either very quiet or one or two people are commenting. So you always feel like there aren't that many people. But when they come to you and tell you that, you know, they watch and they learn and all the kind words and words of encouragement, it's so amazing. So everyone who made it to the event, thank you for taking the time out of your life to be there. And then thank you for taking the time out of the 4 days to come to my table, talk to me, pray for me. I was asked what was the highlight of the 4 days. It was so hard to pick, but I think it was all the times that I got the chance to stand there and hold your hands and we prayed together. It was so uplifting. It was so amazing. And to see everyone in the room care for Masa Amini, care for what's happening in Iran, picking up the hashtag papers. Next morning, I walked out of my room as I was walking to the venue. I just noticed how many parked cars have the hashtag papers that I had with me on their windows. It was so uplifting. So thank you doesn't do it, but for lack of a better term right now, thank you. Imagine me giving you another big hug. It was amazing. If you missed it, I hope you make it next year because Brandon already announced there will be a next year. But if you missed it, it's okay because the entire event will be posted or digitized and be available on wordweekend.com. Don't know exactly when, but it will be available. So you get to kind of sort of at least get the information of all the presentations and what was happening there. But yes, it was amazing. Few of you gave me gifts. I will cherish them. And I love every single piece. One of them is already on my hand. This beautiful pen. Seems like some of you have noticed that I always have a pen in my hand when I'm on camera. And one very precious friend brought me a special pen in color red with a diamond. And I love it. I very much love it. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for all of your purchases. I was so amazed that I pretty much drove back with none of the inventory of art I brought with me. and a lot of custom orders. That means a lot. It's amazing. It was amazing. I hope my smile is explaining it. The light in my eyes is explaining it. And of course, all that being said, the biggest thank you goes to Brandon House. If Brandon didn't do these annual events, of course, this weekend wouldn't be happening, and I wouldn't get the chance to make so many friends, um, meet so many amazing Christian conservative humans. So thank you, Brandon. I know it was a lot of work. I know you're still probably recovering from all this, but we all appreciate what you do, especially these annual events. Um, God willing, I will be back next year. I'm not sure if as a speaker, but I will definitely come back just to see everyone again, and hopefully new group of people to meet and make friends with. Um, yes, that was the short clip version of this weekend. What an amazing experience! Absolutely. Um, some of the people in the room uh, asked me in person. Some later emailed me to ask. So I'm just going to say this: my presentation, the slide or presentation of PowerPoint will be available on my website within a week or two, because I had to make it shorter for the stage time. I think I narrowed it down to like 36 pages, but the entire presentation altogether is about 60 pages. So I'm just going to add those back in, organize them with some comments, and then it will be available on liveuptofreedom.com. I think part of me was so happy when I heard from many in the room that some of the information I provided, even though it was about America and American government, and I don't mean the current regime, they had no idea and they had no clue, and they are happy to know about it now. So I figured I should put the presentation on the website for those who didn't make it, so they can get that information as well, including the call to actions that I had on the stage regarding the Iran situation, regarding the Iran deal, and many other things that was discussed on that presentation. So it will be available, and I will have it on the homepage of liveuptofreedom.com. I'm going to go right into Evin present situation because there's also a call to action for that, which will be available on liveuptofreedom.com homepage by tomorrow night. I do believe, I think most of you already heard it. If you were there, Brandon kindly allowed me to cut into his time, get on a stage and break the news as it was going on Saturday. And then Michael Lauber kindly went ahead and gave some updates on it on Let's Be Frank yesterday. So I'm just going to go over that just in case if any of you missed it. On a Saturday, the 15th of October, news came out that Evin present, just in case if you're not familiar with it, is one of the top 3 most notorious prisons that exist. It holds about 15,000. The capacity is 15,000. But based on reports for the last 4 or 5 years, it's actually over-occupied. But we're just going to go with 15,000 and more prisoners in there. And about 85% of the prisoners are political prisoners, religious prisoners. They call them all political prisoners, but a lot of them are Christians, Baha'is, Jews. Now, those who are Christian and Jews are in there under political prisoners because they were all labeled as the spies for either Mossad or America. Baha'is are just there because they're Baha'is. That's one thing Islamic Republic of Iran doesn't hide, which is killing and slaughtering Baha'is. And then, those who are against the regime, those who have ever spoke out against the regime. You have a lot of civil rights activists, human rights activists in that prison. So I'm saying this to make sure you all understand this is not a notorious prison because they keep all the killers and rapists and psychos in there. No, these are genuinely decent, average people who decided to take a stand. Now, on that note, on Saturday, one of the words wards, I can't pronounce it correctly, WARD, chapter, department, whatever we call, of the human rights activists and civil rights activists started chanting anti-regime slogans, just like it is being chanted on the streets of Iran. And on that note, of course, the guards come to try to silence them, and some sort of, let's say, just inside prison uprising starts. And of course, the regime of Iran, being the master of cracking down and going as far as they need to silence people, they decided to bring in extra enforcement of security police, as they call it, but it's basically the Islamic butchers that are trained for circumstances like this. A lot of family members and other citizens started marching toward the Evin prison. So within about 4 hours after this started, it was a war zone. If you go back and look at the videos, it was a war zone. To put it honestly, to put it mildly, it was a war zone. But anyhow, reports started coming of fire in the building, in the prison. Later on this morning, videos came out of few people on roof actually pouring fuel into the areas with fire. So I guess the ultimate goal was to just burn down the prison, to kill all these people. Thankfully, that didn't happen. You could hear gunshots. 2 prisoners were able to get to the phones and call their families to give updates. One of the mothers who was contacted by her son mentioned that he said, it is like war. We are being hit by tear gas and the other chemical gas that makes you nauseous and makes you feel like you're suffocating, rubber bullets, and they are dragging some of the loudermouth or some of the leaders. You know, when you're arrested, they know if you're a leader or a follower. They are dragging them out of here. We don't know where they're taking them. And that was pretty much his report before he had to hang up the phone. That was it. Now, in midst of all this going on, and I have tried lately to not just go with, forcing you to necessarily care for Iranian people, because I have seen some comments and reasonings. I say that because I don't see them as reason, I see them as excuse, that there is no need, no reason for those in America to really care what happens in Iran or what happens to Iranian people. I absolutely disagree with that. But considering this is a show in language English for American people on an American network, I will respect your wishes of not asking you to care for Iranian people. So on that note, I will ask you to care for American people. Would that be a good deal? So Ned Price went ahead and put this tweet out. As you can see, it is on the 15th, where he said, "We are following reports from Evin prison with urgency. We are in contact with the Swiss as our protecting power. Iran is fully responsible for the safety of our wrongfully detained citizens who should be released immediately." That was the tweet he put out. There are so many things wrong with this tweet. And now, remember, we're talking American citizens now, so nobody's asking about care for Iranian people, at least on this channel. The first thing that's wrong with it. So you are aware that American citizens are wrongfully arrested and detained and put in Evin prison, but you haven't done anything about it so far. Nothing. Except that, prisoner exchange that you do once here and there and get like 1 or 2 of them out. That is, if we do get them out. The other thing that I think triggered me the most was when he comfortably put their safety in hands of the regime. They're American citizens, but their safety is responsibility of the regime of Iran. I would say most likely the American administration and government should be responsible for safety of American citizens. But what do I know, right? Anyhow, this was the tweet he put out, and that was the end of it. End of it. No one from Biden administration has said a word after this, not even Ned Price himself. No updates, no actions, nothing. As of right now, the reports are 8 prisoners were killed, 8, and 61 were injured. And about 17 are missing. What do I mean by missing is the cellmates are saying they were dragged out of there alive, but they were not brought back. And their families have not seen them, meaning they weren't dragged out of there to be released. So they're missing. We don't know if they're injured. We don't know if they're killed. We don't know if they're in solitary confinement. We don't know where they are. So I guess my number one question is, Ned Price or anyone in Biden cabal, have you reached out to the regime of Iran, as it is their responsibility, to ask if any of those 8 were American citizens? How about any of those 61 injured? Any of those American citizens? Missing ones, American citizens? We don't know. We don't care. We don't. Yeah, we don't. Why should we? Biden regime doesn't care for Americans. Biden regime is Americans last or not even on the list. When I broke this news and the tweet Saturday, I gave a call to action in the room. And as I said, I will post this information on my website by either tonight or tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you care to get involved, here's what you need to do. You need to send an email to your Congress member, whomever is your representative of your district. And then you will CC the State Department and the Foreign Minister. You'll CC them in the same email. And inside that email, with your own phrasing, however you like, but you want to make sure to say, based on the latest report by Ned Price himself and the regime, or you can say government, there has been no action taken to guarantee safety of the American citizens inside Evin prison. Evin is E-V-I-N. E-V-I-N. As an American citizen, I am demanding an immediate action by the U.S. government to safely bringing these American citizens home. You'll send it up. I did ask Michael, I don't know if he did it yesterday, pardon me, but if you want to, you can definitely CC liveuptofreedom@gmail.com in there, and we will follow up for you. We will get these emails, so if need to be turned into a petition, we can turn them into a petition. If you don't want to, you don't have to CC us. If you need someone to follow up and help and whatever, you feel free to CC liveuptofreedom@gmail.com. Otherwise, that's fine. You don't need to. But send that email out. Please don't go down the route of, but it's not going to do anything. But, this and that, this and that. One thing I learned in last few days at the event was you do what you need to do and you let God make the final decision about the situation. We don't control the outcome, but we were told we have very clear directions as Christians and as Americans what is the right thing to do. Does that necessarily mean we can change or manipulate the outcome? Absolutely not. But we are still responsible to do our part. So let's do our part instead of constantly being so negative on, I have called, it never worked. I have done this, it never worked. So let's do that. Just send those emails and tell everybody else in your neighborhood, in your family. As I said, this is not about left or right. This is not about politics. This is not about Iranian people. This is not about Afghans, Iraq. This is about American citizens trapped inside one of the most notorious, top 3 notorious prisons wrongfully, isn't it? Price said, and that's the one and only time I agree with him. It's about their life being in danger. So every American should possibly, get involved. So get as many of those emails as you can out. And as I said, phrase it however you want, but basically, technically, your request will be a demand as an American citizen for the regime or the government or the administration, whatever you want to call it, to take immediate action to bring these people home safely. Thankfully, Ned Price did say wrongfully, so you have, by government, you have the proof that these people are innocent. So you're not going like Kamala Harris or Ilhan Omar, you're not going to a judge and ask leniency for ISIS terrorists, You are asking safety and help for an innocent American citizen. So let's do that. That is the call to action, best call to action you can think of right now, or I can think of right now. The pressure needs to be really, really high. Let's put pressure on them. And as I said, we don't have names. We don't have information, but my eyes are on it. If you notice, I keep turning around, turning this way, which is my phone, looking for possible updates coming as I talk to you. But if I do come across any information, any names, I will most definitely update you. Now, mind you, my show is only half an hour. It's every day. So in meantime, if you want to update social media, I don't really post on FrankSocial much, just because, to be honest, there is not much interaction going on my page. But I do post on my other pages. I tweet all day long, Facebook, Instagram, Gab, Gettr. That's all posting. So you can get the updates there. If I come across any names, if I know for, I hope it's not the case, but if any of our fellow Americans are in the list of injured or killed, I'll make sure to let you guys know. Now, there's another call to action. This one, again, will look like I'm asking you to support Iranian people, but it's not, and I will explain why it's not. Let me put this on the screen. So this is a petition put up by an Iranian person, and it's gaining lots and lots of signatures, which is wonderful, but we need your signature. And even though this is a request, not just toward America, but also France, Germany, Italy, United Kingdom, Canada, apparently Japan, but America is in there too. Request of the expel of Iranian diplomats. The reason I said this does affect us, and this is not just about Iran and Iranians, it's basically, by the way, I should tell you, if you want to find this, you just go to change.org, and then just put G7 leaders, and this petition will come up. Or you can put the person who created the petition, being Kaveh Shahrooz, that's Kaveh. The last name is Shahrooz. It's right on the screen next to that circle of a man's head. You can search it that way to find it. I will post it on my social media pages as direct link. I can unfortunately leave it here on comment section because links are not allowed. Anyhow, if you could take about 10, maybe 15 seconds out of your day to sign this petition and then share it, that would be absolutely amazing. And the reason I said this doesn't just help Iran and Iranian people, it helps us here, is, as I said, the less relationship between America and these murderer, I can't find the right word, genocidal psychopaths, the safer we are here in America. Now, it is fairly clear where Biden regime is at, but we don't have to be on the same page as our occupied White House, do we? No. So this would be where, as Americans, you can voice your concern and force the hands. And by the way, for anyone who might think petitions are a joke, out of 21 successful rescue cases of Live Up to Freedom, out of 21 of them, 14 of them went through with power of petitioning. So I do believe petitions do work, and it has worked for many cases we have worked. I'm a strong believer in petitions. So do sign them. And again, it's 10-15 seconds of your day. I'm pretty sure even if it doesn't work, I mean, you didn't lose much. It's not like you had to take a day off to do it. Go to change.org and look up G7 leaders or Kava Shahrus, and it comes up. Or you can go to any of my social media pages, and the link is right there. Just click on it and sign it. Boom. And when I do post this video as archive on Frank Speech, on the description part, I'll include the link as well. So please do sign it. It will help us voice our concern with, what is going on. Let me see if I can pull this up because I need it. It will show our concern with relationship that Biden regime has established strongly with Islamic regime. Okay, I am almost out of time. I'll never get to cover everything I need to. I'm sorry. Okay, so I want to close with a proud, happy but yet sad part. An Iranian athlete, a young lady, Aynaz Rekabi. She is part of the climbing team, national team of Iran, and she made her way to the finals of the Asian climbing competition. And she made, by far, she made a statement that's, I'll just play a part of when she went for climbing or doing the competition. And then when we come back, I'm sure you'll catch it, but here we go.
전합니다. 이란의 엘라지 레캅입니다. 레카비 선수가 볼도에서 77점을 얻으면서 레카비 선수 아까 볼도 끝나고 잠깐 쉬는 시간에 본인이 못 풀었던 볼도 문제 아쉬워서 혼자 나와서 다시 뭐 다음 아시안 게임 또 올림픽에서도
She is representing Islamic Republic of Iran. She's an athlete sent by the regime, and very bravely she made a statement which was competing without a hijab. By the way, isn't her gorgeous? I posted on my Facebook page and said, you see, it's a Persian thing. I'm very proud of her. Every one of us are very proud of her. What she's done is bravery. You've watched my show long enough to know why that is bravery. And also it's a sacrifice because she knows for now, until further notice, she's not going back home. She can't go back. But I'm sure she knows as well that it was very much worth it to make such an international statement, wearing the uniform of the Islamic regime of Iran and not wearing the hijab while competing. By far, I think is one of the biggest blows that the regime and mullahs have faced in last 32 days. It has been 32 days. It is still going. If you would please pray for them, because they are standing strong and they are still determined to overthrow this regime. They will. I was told yesterday that I will never go home. I want to tell everyone who has the mindset of us Iranians who are outside of Iran will never go home. I want you to know we will. I don't know when, but we will. I will respect your mentality to think it is what it is and this regime will be there permanently. But I also want you to respect the bravery of people who are at least trying, unlike us here in America. They are on the streets dying for freedom. So let's at least respect their freedom. The next time you choose to tell an Iranian that you'll never go home and this is all for nothing. I want you to stay safe and to stay vigilant. Check liveuptofreedom.com as often as you have a chance, because I will start putting updates there. LUTFstudio.com. I will be loading some new inventory there, I promise, soon. Also go to mystore.com or mypillow.com and use the promo code AC21, because if you do that, then it becomes a lot easier for me to keep doing these investigations, to put the time to sit here and translate and download and upload and all that stuff. Pray, pray, pray. Pray for human society. We are united as we are divided. We are determined as we are hesitant. We are freedom lovings as we bow to tyranny. Let's pray for guidance, clarity, and let's pray for faith to grow inside all of us as we need it. Until the next time, may God bless you. May God bless America. Goodbye, guys.